Hi guys, it's Tony Robbins. You're listening to Habits and Hustle. Crush it.
This is such an exciting episode of Habits and Hustle. We have today Michael Lee. Michael Lee is a massive TikTok star. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I guess so.
Massive. 50 million followers. I think it was at like over 1 billion, views, impressions, likes?
Yeah, likes. Yeah.
Now, and you also you're pretty big on YouTube as well with millions and millions. Also Instagram, or is TikTok your big one?
TikTok's my big one, but YouTube and Instagram, they're I have a few mil on both of them.
Oh, just a few mil. Okay. I mean, this is exciting for me because I'm so fascinated by all of this because I think it's not my generation, right? Like I'm trying to learn as I go.
Yeah.
So I guess let's just start from the beginning. You're 19 years old.
I'm 21.
Oh, 21.
Yeah, I'm 21.
Oh my gosh, 21. I thought you were 19. Okay, you're old, much older. You're like an old man. Tell us how you began and how it kind of just evolved from there.
Yeah. Quick story. So I started becoming a dancer when I was 12. I took it more seriously when I was that age, and around 3 to 4 years later, I became more professional, where I started doing music videos, became a choreographer, teaching classes, and when social media came out, Instagram and Musical.ly were the first social media apps that could really post those types of videos. So I became one of the first social media dancers to come on just any platforms, and then a few years later down the line, I just continued my journey as a dancer, social media kind of personality. And by 2019, that's when things really started taking off, when TikTok kind of came back into the picture. And when I hopped onto it, basically it just kind of took off, and I saw it as the next opportunity, because the first one was Vine. A lot of the big social media stars came from Vine, and I never hopped on it. I just kind of I hopped on it the first week, and then I was like, this is not going to go anywhere. I deleted it. And then a few months later, I see it, and all these guys are popping off. I'm like, oh my gosh. I never downloaded it. I was super ego. I was like, it's too late for me, whatever. So I never hopped onto it. So when TikTok came out, and it did what it did, I saw it as the next opportunity. So I took it, and then, 2 years later, I'm here.
Wow. So I want to start from the beginning. So you were a dancer at 12, and then you were doing music videos. Who were you doing videos for?
So I lived in Miami, so it was a lot of Latin artists, Daddy Yankee was my first one. Weezy, Ricky Martin. I did one with Chris Brown the first time he came out to LA.
Okay.
And Fabulous.
Videos for them?
Music video. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Chris Brown's a great dancer, so you must be pretty good if you can be keeping up with that guy. Okay.
Thank you. But yeah, no, it was super fun, and from there I was like, all right, how can I elevate? How can I keep going? Because I think the biggest thing for the dancer was I kind of looked at the biggest dancers in the industry, and I was like, all right, how much money are they making? Is this really a life I want to live? Is it enough money for me, or what's the biggest that they can be? And I realized for a dancer was you can be a backup dancer for someone else. And I thought it was cool to experience if I was a tour dancer or a music video dancer, but I was never the main person that people cared for. And I wanted to share my art, and I felt dance was such an expression of of yourself. So I felt okay, social media, I can make my own dance videos, and I am in the sense the star that people can watch. And that's why I switched from being a professional dancer and moving into more of a creator of my own.
Yeah, a content creator.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Did you ever think what was it part of the plan? I want to become Insta famous or be a TikTok star or a social media star? Was that part of the strategy? Or?
So I started the social media in 2015, and I said I was I want to be a YouTuber, and I told myself all right, I'm gonna make it. It's just a matter of when, not. It's a matter of how, not when. Right. It's just, eventually if I keep going and I keep, pushing forward, it'll pay off eventually. So I always believed in myself, because I knew I was always listening to the podcast. It's you have to believe in yourself before other people can believe in you, and this and that. So I just kind of started feeding myself all of this information and just inspiration, and kind of keeping that mindset. And so I always kind of felt I had it in me.
So then, okay, so you started in 2015, you're saying Musically, and then, you know, you kind of you didn't do Vine. Now, did it happen? Because I mean, from what I understand, it's easier to get an audience on TikTok than it would be, let's say, on Instagram because of the algorithm.
Yeah.
Is that true then?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely, 100%.
Why
Like all
is that?
the algorithm for how Instagram and Facebook worked was you had to pay. You had to pay
Right.
ads. They made it very based off of like, say if you had 1 million followers, only like 10% of those
Right.
followers will actually see your post on the feed. It wasn't like, you know, it was so much that went onto it, and then the reachability. You know, how could, you know, other people find you? For me back then, when it was like 2016, 2017. It was always like the meme pages that if they reposted you, then people could follow you from there. But it was never like organically from your own posts. And what TikTok brought to the table was like, it doesn't matter how many followings you have. It doesn't matter whatever the case may be. It's if you have a viral video, the app will push it for free, and you'll just get millions of views. So that's how like all of these new social media, you know, content creators came to be,
Right.
because like they didn't have to be stuck with an algorithm or have to pay for views or, you know, engagement.
Right. They kind of made it much easier for people to see your content.
Mhm.
That's true. I mean, even with us small people like myself, who has maybe a couple 100,000 followers, or maybe whatever around.
That's
that.
not small.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Compared to you, believe me, I'm a micro. But you know, you're right. Like only a very small portion of my audience or anybody's audience sees it. I feel like at what point though does that change? Like if you have 5,000 followers, everyone sees it. Like, is there something that you can tell us that you hit a certain point or a benchmark, and that's when they start really kind of getting into the monetization on their end? Or is it?
Are you talking on any platforms?
Okay, on Instagram right now,
on
because we're talking about Instagram.
I mean, it really depends. Like I've had, I mean, brand deals. For me, it was more of like artist deals. So like a smaller local artist would come to me and be like, hey, like, can you promote my song and you dance to it? That was more of like the brand deal back in the day for me as a dancer rather than a personality. And I've had those since the beginning, since like I had 50,000 followers or 25,000 followers. Like it really depends. But yeah, it starts there. And then once you get to like, I guess like a higher threshold, I think throughout time, because you have more competition and there's more people like learning about the social media stuff. Obviously, like the bar is set higher to where like brands will, you know, reach out to people with a higher following or, you know.
I'm not talking about brands even yet. I'm just talking about in terms of just people seeing your content. Like we're gonna get all about the brands.
okay.
So the brands is a big part of this whole podcast. But my point was more that there comes a point I feel like on Instagram or Facebook, to your point, you were saying this, that it becomes you got to boost your post or you got to pay some kind of, you know, ad spend to get your actual audience to see your stuff, as opposed to like TikTok, where you said if you make a viral video, they just push it out. So I was wondering if you knew if there's like a number that happens in the Instagram world that like that's when they start saying,
Not
like
necessarily.
10%
I mean,
of your
from what
audience.
I know, I'm not really sure about that. I mean, I just know that it's like, I just know that Instagram is one of the hardest places to grow.
Yeah,
I mean, they
true.
did add the Reels, which is kind of like a TikTok kind of competitor that like adds a reachability thing. So that
Right.
has helped. And that's actually how I started growing on Instagram again, from Reels alone.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, I mean,
You
it's
don't
still
know,
just
yeah.
a pay. Yeah.
I was just asking. That was more of a curiosity question more than anything. But
Got you.
well, you said something also about viral. If you have a viral video, then they push it out.
Mhm.
Now, yes, but how do you make a viral video? Like, is there like some kind of like strategy behind making one, or is it kind of random? Like, what goes into it?
It's a mixture of both. I would say it depends because every person is different. So everything, there's always something that works for someone else that doesn't work for someone else.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
So there's always like the base core things of like, okay, what's relatable, what's funny, what's talented. Those are the things that people can control because like, you know, those are the things that people enjoy watching.
Right.
But then it goes down to the person that also does it, whether it's like the looks or the style or how they shoot things. It's not like a 1, 2, 3 step process where I can just tell everyone it and then they all go viral.
Right.
You know, or you know, it's the same thing with honestly anything in life. So it's really just trying to figure out what makes you happy, what you're passionate about and what you're good at, and kind of combining all those things, and then adding, understanding how to storytell well, or have add comedy into things. It's kind of just a blend in everything, and then of course with trends, with sounds, relatability again. It's everything combined into one.
I got that. Okay.
Yeah.
So then now you're on TikTok, and you make your first viral video. I mean, I should say something else. Do you feel like, because you are a dancer,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of dancers, what was it about your dancing that you think that, or something about you that kind of hit and just took off?
I figured. So yeah, it's super important to like when you get into the space of like having a lot of other competition, the main thing is figuring out how you can differentiate yourself between everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And for me at first, it was making viral videos in public. A lot of people didn't do public videos. I did my first videos in like Walmart, going on counters, dancing on there, then dancing in the malls, like all that stuff. I was like one of the people that really pushed and started that. And I mean, I'm positive other people have done it before, but I definitely pushed that motive in TikTok, and that's what really got my first, I guess, like giant push of like following and everything.
How many views did you get in your first viral video?
It was a fluctuation. I mean, when I hopped back onto TikTok, it was like the first week of me doing the videos, I was hitting like maybe 1 mil to 3 mil. Some videos hit 9 million. And back then, TikTok views were really, really hard to get compared to now. Like it's way easier now because there's more people. But back then it was crazy. So I saw those numbers and I was like, okay, I'm not getting these views anywhere else, like not on Instagram, not on YouTube. So I was like, all right, let me just double down on this and continue. And the concepts got crazier and crazier, and I just kind of built off of that.
Were you surprised yourself when you saw these numbers?
I was like, oh my god, this is finally happening. Because the thing is that in 2015 I started social media, and around 2016 is where I got my first viral video, where it kind of boosted my like social media presence, like for the first time. And I was like, oh, okay, it's finally working. It paid off, and I was like, cool. I had like 100,000 followers. And by that first year, I had 250,000, I think, on Instagram. And then from 2016 to the beginning of 2019, for the next like 3-4 years, I didn't grow higher than that. It started dwindling. So by the beginning of 2019, I had like maybe 210,000 followers. So throughout the time, I didn't get any other like jump in anything. It was always like kind of going slowly down. But my content as a creator, I got better at making videos. Right. But it was because of the algorithm and how everything was happening. So when I did get my first videos on TikTok that went viral, that's when I was like, oh my gosh, okay, it's paying off. Like this is worth it now. Like this is finally like all the years weren't for nothing type of thing. Right.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So that's crazy. So that's amazing. So then what you said, you got better at making the content. Like how? So just practice that you just kept on
experimentation, figuring out what works for yourself or for your audience, trying different concepts. I was doing things from skits to dance videos to concept videos on YouTube. And it was kind of like a full range of everything. So
that's amazing. So when did you start? You say you started getting brand deals, because that was the question I was going to say to you. Because now you have this big audience, and how do you monetize and build a brand and all these things? But you were saying you were getting brand deals when you had like 50,000.
Yeah. It was less of brand deals, but more of like artist deals.
Yeah. Like collaborations.
Like labels would reach out to me and be like, hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars for like a 15-second dance video. Right. Which are, labels and brands are a little bit different in that sense.
How much were they going to give you? You said around?
When I first started, I was like, hey, I'll do a 15-second dance video for $15.
Wow.
And in my head, at 15, 16 years old, I was like, that's $1 a second. Like no one else is doing this. People are doing $16 an hour. I'm doing it 1 second. So I was like, insane.
Exactly.
So I was super hyped about that. And then, as I started growing, those rates, started doubling, tripling, and it just kind of like continued as I started growing more.
Okay, so then what was your first big brand deal?
I don't even remember. I'm not gonna lie.
You don't remember?
I don't.
Oh my gosh. Do you know how many followers or how big you were at that time when you first got like the call?
So the thing is that like with my social media, majority of my success came from the last 2 years, like with TikTok.
Right.
Because before TikTok, I had 200, 400,000 followers on like
Right.
Instagram, and that was really where all of my, like my brand deals started after TikTok. So like majority before it was like I couldn't really have a sustainable living. I was still living with my parents. I mean, I still do, obviously, but I wasn't really paying rent the way I was now. The income was completely different. So yeah, it all kind of happened all at once, more than like slowly coming up
Well, then
to be sustainable.
You basically built your TikTok brand and everything in like 2 years, basically.
Yeah.
You went from like not zero, but what we like.
From Musically, I grew it up to 600,000.
So from 600,000, you went to 50 million.
Yeah.
In 2 years.
Yeah.
And completely organic.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. Oh my gosh. Okay, so can I even ask you, like, if I was a brand, if I said, hey, Michael, I want you to help me promote, my, shoe line,
Mm-hmm.
how much would you charge me?
I mean, it depends on how big the ask is. I think it's based off of like the ask of like the creative, how much time it would take for me, and how many posts they would want, what platforms. But it would be in the higher range of like the tens to like the hundred. So like around that.
One
area.
post. How much would be one post? Let's just start with basics.
Basics. I mean, for someone of my caliber and like in the top like 10 of like TikTok. Typically, all of us charge around the same, which is around, I'd say, anywhere from like lowest 20 to like up to 100. So it depends.
Just for one post, and that doesn't even mean a campaign. That's just like one post.
Yeah, it ranges. There'll be brand deals that will take that is in the lower range, depending on how much we love the brand, or if, something that they ask for way more, then it'll be up higher.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in a second. Let's just talk still about building a brand, right? Mm-hmm. So you're saying, kind of having your passion, obviously, liking what you're doing, right? So other than that, and also like you said, you actually hit on this, like just because something works for you won't work for me, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of it's trial and error. But is there something to be said? Is what part of luck comes into it, right? Because I know people who try like their ass off all day and they can't get arrested.
I mean, for me, it's like luck is like it. I mean. There's this one saying of like how, because like luck plays some part in it, of course. I mean, everyone's different, so like there's different things that happen for other people that doesn't happen for other, So I think that if you try something 100 different ways, you're gonna have a higher chance, or you'll be luckier than someone who's trying, to get big one way. And constantly doing the same thing that one way.
Right.
If you're constantly diversifying and you're constantly growing, I feel like your luck percentage grows higher.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Luck kind of turns into you make your own opportunity.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
exactly.
when opportunity and luck meet, or whatever that's saying. Right. I know what you're trying to say. So then you're still at this point. You were living in. When did you move to LA? You just moved here, right? Recently?
May of 2020.
Okay, so you were living in Miami this whole time?
West Palm.
West Palm. Oh, I love it there.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Do you like it here?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice except for, taxes and stuff.
I was going to say, this is the wrong time to be moving to LA. I think you should be moving back to West Palm.
Yeah, no, I actually bought a house. No, I bought a house a few months ago, so I will be moving back by next year.
Oh, you will be?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. And then because it's like a family affair right now, right? Like your whole family now is involved with all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about that and how that happened?
So I moved out here in May with a few other people that lived in the house, and we were just kind of like friends at the time, and I was like, oh, like we'll split rent.
What kind of house? Just like a regular?
Yeah, just a regular house.
Because there are TikTok houses, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. I at first just wanted it to be a house with friends, and then it eventually became a brand that I didn't necessarily like want to continue. And then things happened, kicked everyone out, and then I moved my family in with me. And then that's when I like really wanted to crack down on like, all right, mom, like quit your business, because she actually had like a nail salon. She was like she worked she ran that like 24/7, and I told her to stop it, move the whole family out. And
that makes sense, guys. Your mom has nice nails. I was going to say something when she walked in, and I was like, those are nice nails. And you don't have the nail salon anymore, Mom?
No.
Oh, God. Too bad. I noticed it from outside even. That's so funny. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean
So
to interrupt you.
no, it's all good. So moved them out there, and I was like, all right, this makes more sense. Like it's a more PG brand. I'm able to spend more time with my family, create content with them, and kind of give them an opportunity that like a lot of people don't have. Like social media just is something that I feel like a lot of people take for granted that like I didn't want to just have like kind of go away because I have no idea how long the social media thing could last or how long it would be as easy as it was
right,
because it was already happening for me. So I was like, might as well give this opportunity for them, and if they want to continue it, they're able to, and this and that. So
no, that's really smart. So you basically your mom, your brother. How old is your brother?
6 and 4.
You have 2 brothers.
Yeah, Jonathan's 6, and then my little one is 4.
And there's 2. So you guys all have your separate channels. Do you have a family channel then
so now, actually my little brother Jonathan, he was the one that had 10 million followers, and then TikTok banned his account because
really? Is that a 4-year-old?
No, the 6-year-old.
The 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Had 10 million followers.
Yeah, he had 10 million. I grew it up to that, and then we lost it because he was too young. He couldn't have his own account. It was like some rules.
Really? What is that? What's the rule on that?
It's like you have to be 13 years or older to own a TikTok account and stuff like that. So like there's no other like kid accounts on TikTok. The only ones that are bigger, they're like with their dad or like it's a family.
Oh.
So I have the Schlub family TikTok account,
okay.
but I don't have like individual like little ones.
So what happened to those 10 million followers?
Just
Gone?
disappeared.
Oh, are
Just
you
banned it.
serious?
Yeah.
No,
Wow.
Tiffany and I have our separate.
My mom has one because she's obviously older. My sister has one because she's older. So
How old is your sister?
she is
14.
14. So
Making sure.
yeah, you're making sure. So how many followers does your sister have?
How much she have? Like 3 mil? 2 mil?
3.
3 million.
Around 3 million. Yeah.
And your mom, how many do you have, Tia?
5.5.
5? Okay.
Really? Wow. Okay, so this is amazing. So then, like, because you were saying this is amazing. So then, basically, when did you start getting, besides your team that you have with your family, because now you're a business, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like now it's that. Like, at what point did people start knocking on your door? Like, hey, Michael, can I represent you? Do you have an agent, a manager? How does it work on that side?
I would say like people started catching on a little bit late with TikTok, especially with brands and especially with managers. But I mean, for me, I was like, I'd say like in the first half a year. That's
At what point, how many were you up to by that point?
maybe like 8 to 10 mil, I'd say.
So it took you were about 8 to 10 million until a bunch like a manager or an agent who kind of approached you first.
They all kind of approached at the
At
same time. Yeah, because I think people started realizing at the same time. Then you know how word of mouth gets. It's like,
100%.
oh yeah.
And that's what. So do you have an agent or a manager? Or your
Also, I have a management now. So my mom runs it with 2 other people of mine, and we just have like a full like team.
how many people are on the team?
In the management side, 3.
3 people.
Yeah.
So then, when you do content now, do you have a creative team that help you, or you just kind of think of everything yourself?
Mainly myself.
Because they're such short videos.
Yeah, I have friends that like, and some of my team we kind of brainstorm, but majority of it is typically, I typically do everything.
Really, and so how do you kind of keep it? Do you feel like do you feel like it stagnates sometimes? Like what kind of keeps it growing? Like what's it to stop it from going from 50 to 100? Yeah.
Yeah, it's constantly just evolving and figuring out what you can do to make people like still be interested in you. If you do the same things over and over, I feel like you get kind of bored watching the same things. So, I mean, right now I'm in my process of going into my next phase of like content and my look and stuff. Cause like, everyone knows me for my videos with my family, and I have a beanie and glasses. I just completely changed my look now. And then now I'm like going into this more like, all right, let me get back into my talent side of things and more personality and stuff like that. So it's constantly just changing. I think people enjoy seeing like you grow as a person and kind of like adapt with like times and stuff. So yeah, it's just doing that. And then as long as you're enjoying yourself and through the content you can see like happiness or fun or entertainment. I think that's really all that matters for that.
Well, it's interesting because you did look different. You had the videos I saw of you had the glasses on,
yeah.
right, and all that stuff too, and the beanie. And then the other thing I found interesting, well, a lot of things I found interesting, but I didn't see so much dancing on the videos. Like I saw that you kind of stopped doing more of the dancing stuff. which by the way, I love the dancing videos. Like I get that. I get why people would want to watch that stuff, right? Because it's like super like that's something that people can aspire, they can practice, they can do all those things. And I thought TikTok really was about at the beginning, well, you know, that I know of, doing those little dancey dances. Now I feel like everyone's on TikTok doing fitness stuff or business excerpts or whatever.
Yeah,
it is.
it definitely grew from dancing, and then now from back then, it's definitely got way more accepting in terms of like what content's allowed on there and stuff like that. So it's way more open, and yeah, with the content for me, I definitely slowed that down because like I was getting more into like entertainment or skits and stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of test out what I could do, and I did kind of like steer away from dancing. Not even trying to, it just kind of happened because I started having less time.
Right.
But yeah, that's something I'm getting back into, definitely.
So then what is, by the way, you said this something earlier, the club, we were talking about the clubhouse houses.
Mhm.
So what is that? Like, is it, because
Like
there are people living in these club, there's like
The
TikTok.
the TikTok house?
Sorry,
Yeah.
TikTok houses. There's also clubhouse houses. But
Yeah.
the TikTok, let's stick to the TikTok. What are those?
I mean, basically, it's just like these management companies will get this like massive mega mansion. They'll get these, you know, TikTokers that they feel like is a good investment to, you know, bid on. Basically, they'll group them together. They'll make this like kind of brand together, and then I guess they'll reap rewards based off of like the brand deals they get, stuff like that. And I think the main ones, honestly, that are gonna stick around is just the main two, like Sway House and Hype House. Like those are the established like first houses that have like the main creators. I think a lot I mean, I don't know now, but I mean, I know that there's like constantly houses being made like every month now. So I mean, I don't know how successful they are. I know that they constantly change, but that's kind of just how like that little thing goes.
Can you pretend I'm like a total like idiot with this stuff because I kind of am. So like somebody comes up with this idea. Let's create a TikTok house, and they reach out to 10 TikTokers.
Yeah.
And say what to these TikTokers? Hey, TikTokers, come live in this house. We're gonna pay you rent.
Yeah, we'll pay your rent. We'll, you know, this and that. We have X amount of rules, and you have to make 3 TikToks a day, and you have to tag the house page, and you have to do this, and you get split revenue of whatever brand deals we bring to you.
And then if you find a brand deal, do you have to pay them the revenue as well?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that any brand deals that go to them, they split. I'm gonna assume.
Your mom's
I don't think so.
no? They get to keep their own.
That's the point. Is you live in the place for free, because the TikTokers are living in there, and then the house for them to make the profit back, you're living for free with everything. I don't think you make that much.
I just said they split.
No, so we're saying if the
they split
TikToker makes
Yes.
a deal with Nike,
That's what
do
Clubhouse
they
is.
have to pay?
That's what my content house does.
Right. Now everyone's talking away from like my.
Sorry.
Funnily enough, I think so my camera guy is a TikToker. He's got 3 million. That he's doing all sorts of other stuff, and he lives in a house. So what did you say the house is?
Clubhouse.
Clubhouse. Do they take a percentage
Yeah.
of you if you got it yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's
they
I think
come
it's different throughout the houses, but typically it's going to be something where like free rent, you get all these amenities, this and that, but we'll take a percentage of brand deals that
Right,
you get. That's
right,
like
right,
their investment, return on investment.
Are there Instagram homes and Snapchat houses? Or,
I don't believe so.
Right. Then why TikTok? Is it
Because
it's
TikTok
easiest?
has the most reachability.
Yeah.
You can't really grow it to Instagram house and get like a page to grow because there's nothing unless it's like a real house, an Instagram real house. That's a possibility, or a YouTube Shorts house. But I mean, right now it's still everyone's finally getting onto TikTok now. I think that's still early stages for the other platforms.
It's interesting that you say that because I feel like, when, you're too young for this, but when I was on Facebook, okay, years ago.
Facebook.
You had Facebook? Oh, God. Okay. But when people's parents started to get on Facebook, it became kind of like the uncool thing. And that's when people kind of jump ship to like Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now I feel like I thought the same with Instagram. Like, oh my God, if I'm on Instagram, then that means nobody wants to be on Instagram.
No,
and they're leaving.
Instagram is definitely like Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Those are the 3 main, I'd say, for like this generation of like the kids.
Right, but then
Yeah.
if you start seeing people like if you see people in their 40s on TikTok, doesn't that kind of like mean that it's jumped the shark a bit and now it's on to the next thing?
I think because there's no thing that's newer than Instagram yet, it hasn't happened yet. But Instagram is still, I think it's still one of the serious platforms that people would take. Like if you had 10 million on TikTok compared to Instagram, I think people would take the Instagram 10 million followers more seriously than the TikTok.
You're right. Why is that?
Just because it's more established of a platform.
Of a platform?
Yeah.
What about Snapchat? I heard Snapchat's making a huge resurgence right now. Is that true?
I have no idea. I'm in a cave. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't know this?
I don't.
You crush it on Snapchat. Are you kidding me?
I know.
Unless Instagram's paying you some other side deal, you should be going on Snapchat too.
Yeah, I think it's just whether like it's time. I mean,
Yeah.
it really depends. Like I like hopping on things when it's like not already popped off, but like when I know it works. Like now, it's like it's an investment in my time of like, okay, what's worth my time right now? If it's something that like I can try out, but like I don't have enough time to put into that.
Yeah.
I just won't. Cause I have to run I have 2 YouTube channels I have to run. I have to like run 3 TikTok channels on top of Instagram.
Are you running all of this? So break it down. Tell me exactly what is in the day in the life of you.
Mm-hmm.
What are you running, and give me your platforms.
So I'm actually planning out my schedule right now again, because like I'm trying to balance myself out, because I became such a workaholic to where like I focused all of my attention onto one thing, and then like I forget other things of life that like what success really means to me, whether it's just like, is it all business, is it like relationship, friends, family, like being able to just appreciate life sometimes too, like I'm trying to balance myself out again with that. Also fitness, of course.
Right. No, I didn't know that. Really? I mean, you have dancing, which is a huge fitness, of course. Are you doing it for the fitness purpose, or are you doing it because you love creativity and you love to kind of express yourself that way?
I love it all. I love feeling fit. Like because of the boxing thing that I just recently did.
I was gonna ask you
my fitness journey has like kicked off, and like I love the new body I have. I love like just the process of everything. So that's something I'm gonna continue.
Now you're speaking my language. Oh my god, okay, I like that. Okay.
But yeah, it's just a balance of like, I think like this week I have 3 days set aside for TikTok days. So like I'll have to make like X amount of videos in those days for my channel, or my mom, she needs some videos for her, or the Shalub family channel, or even my sister. So like we kind of just like divvy it up from there. And then I need probably 1 or 2 days for YouTube days. So I'll have a day scheduled for recording YouTube for my channel, my gaming channel, or my little brother's channel. So
how many videos you have to make? Like how many videos will you make for TikTok a week?
It fluctuates. I mean, I haven't made a lot recently because of the whole boxing thing. I haven't had a lot of time, but before that, I used to, I'd say, post like anywhere from 4 minimum to like 10 a week.
Wow.
So I used to make 4 a day. I mean, but now like I'm putting more effort into the videos to where like it takes longer to make a viral video for me.
Right.
And then that means I would make less. So it kind of like, depends.
And YouTube's a whole other animal altogether, right?
Yeah.
So what are you trying to do on YouTube that you're not doing on TikTok?
I mean, it's just longer platform. It's a longer video thing. So I would make skits. I would make these like vlog-ish challenge videos, and I kind of like, it's kind of whatever I really want, honestly. So like my last video I did was say yes to my little brother for 24 hours. So we did like this elaborate skit.
And you think of all this stuff?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
No help. No one says, hey, Michael, here's 20 things you can do tomorrow or next week.
Not really. I mean, I'll have some people like throw ideas out at me, but I'll kind of pick and choose. I'll look at other YouTubers, get inspiration from them as well, so that's kind of how it works. And then it'll take me like a few hours to kind of like write a script for the whole video, and then we'll just record it and edit it.
Wow. Now, so that's a lot. So you have to think. And you got to think of a lot of different concepts.
It's a lot of mental,
Yeah, that's a lot.
No, it's definitely a lot stressful than some people think. Because again, with the whole concept of like certain things work for certain people,
right?
I can't just record myself on a phone and just expect 10 million views. Like for me, like I have to add concepts, I have to add viral factors that make me different, that people are like, oh, let me watch this again, Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of different factors that come into things like that. And for me, it comes down to creativity and the content itself, not really just me. Like,
so what are your factors that you have to add for yourself?
It's the factors of I mean, it's every little thing. When it comes to lighting, it comes to outfits, it comes to colors, it comes to composition of the videos, little viral factors of like not expecting this to happen or a skit happening, the talent if everyone's like super in sync. Like there's just so it really depends on the video, but every video has different factors I have to kind of brainstorm and think about to make it like, okay, is this going to be really enjoyable for like a random person to watch? And if it is, it will hit 10 all the way to 50 million views. And if it's an ad video, it'll hit like 1 to 2 million views. And then I'll just continue from there.
Because you just said something I didn't realize. So you're creating the videos for your family too. You're thinking of the concepts for your brothers, your sister, your mom.
Yeah.
And then you're also doing that on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so people monetize, and you can explain this. How is the monetization different from YouTube to TikTok?
YouTube, I would say you get way more money than TikTok in terms of from what the platform provides.
Mm-hmm.
So like with YouTube ads, you'll make more money from there, but compared to TikTok. But on the brand deal side of things, in my opinion, I mean, I have way more followers on TikTok compared to YouTube, so it's a little harder to kind of gauge it. But I think I make way more money than on TikTok than YouTube,
right?
Because of the brand deals,
right? Because your following is so big on that though, too, right?
Yeah.
Who are some of the brands that you work with? Like, who are some of your partners?
I've worked with, a lot. Blackwire is one of them now. I've worked
BLK.
With, BLK.
I call it BLK. You can call it Blackwire.
Yeah, I've been working with Bang Energy for a long time actually too. They're actually one of the first people we worked with back in 2016 actually. I've worked with brands like Walmart. I've done this soap. I forgot which soap it was.
You're looking around here.
Yeah.
Dove? Like what kind of stuff? Dial? I mean,
which soap
I
company?
don't remember the soap, but I can list them.
Which soap company did I work with again?
Sacred?
Safeguard.
Oh, Safeguard. Okay.
Yeah, that one. I've worked with Tums. It's,
oh my God,
it's all over.
What was your? You don't have to tell me the company, or you could if you want. But what was your biggest deal that you got that you were like, what? Like the biggest?
Invisalign.
Invisalign?
Yeah.
Oh, you're wearing it right now.
Yeah, I'm currently doing that.
But besides, you're not the kind of person now that's only going to do Invisalign by wearing their product for free. You wouldn't want some like money behind it.
Yeah.
So how much
of
money
course.
are we talking on something like that?
Couple hundred.
Wow. And then that goes for how long? That's the whole time you're wearing them?
It depends. No, I would say it for this one, it's like a yearly thing. Or it's a year thing, so it's like throughout the month. So it's like way more asked. It's not just like I want to post one video and then all the money is there. It's kind of like I have to post like X amount of TikToks, X amount of Instagram, stuff like that. So
consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And and then you're wearing them as well for the next. How long do you have to wear those for?
This is like a year thing. I'm on like week. I have like 27 aligners to switch out from. I think I'm on aligner 6 or 7.
Oh, your teeth are good though.
Thank you.
Yeah, they're working at least. It's
Tums is your biggest one.
Who is it?
Tums.
Tums.
Is your biggest one because you only had 2 in one post.
Yes, but
Oh, okay. What is it? So that's okay. Tums and Invisalign. I'm good with both. So how much would Tums give you for one post?
we did. How many posts was that one?
It was technically 3, but we only had to post 1.
So
Really?
so they made me post 3, and 2 of them were to kind of promote something, but I could delete the 2, so it was technically 1.
Oh wow!
And then I did a live, and I did that one for around over 100.
Just for one post and one live, you get
Yeah.
$100,000. God, that's great for Antacid. I think I have heart first. Where can I sign? Do they want someone like me on board? I can be in a video with you. That's amazing money, though. You can make a killing. So, what would be? It's been 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Are you making like 10 million a year from just TikTok?
I wish.
It
Oh,
sounds
man.
like you would be. If you're
I
making
wish.
$100,000 for each little.
It's so that's the thing. Every brand deal is different. It's not like every brand goes over 100K.
Right, I know,
So
right.
it's like those one-offs or those some. But typically it's in a lower range, so it kind of ranges. I'd say so far in general, I could have probably made around like 2 to 4
right.
mil in combined of everything.
And you're like 21 years old.
Yeah.
Did you ever even in your wildest dream, even if you believe in yourself and you think you can do it and you have an extraordinary mindset, did you ever think 2 years ago that you're going to be sitting doing, making this kind of money, doing this kind of stuff?
I would say I yes and no. I would say yes, like eventually, but not this fast. I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Right. Fast. And then who's your audience? Is it 50% male? Is it mostly male?
It's half and half.
It's 50-50?
Yeah.
What's the age bracket?
Young kids.
Yeah.
They're kids, like anywhere from 8 to 15.
And oh wow, 8 years old.
Yeah,
you know what?
I've had kids come up to me.
I'm sure you have.
It's so cute, but yeah,
Because I was gonna say I was at a pool party yesterday for my little I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I was like, and they were watching TikTok. I'm like, why are you guys watching? You're this kid was I think 9 or 10. I'm like, what are you doing watching TikTok? How do you know what TikTok is?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have a TikTok person coming on my podcast tomorrow. And they're like, who? And I told them, they're like, oh, I love him. I follow him. I'm like, you're 9. How do you even have a phone to even follow this child?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's so crazy.
Even my little brother, who's 4, they know how to get into phones. They know how to go onto YouTube, and they're like, no, I don't want YouTube Kids. I want YouTube.
Exactly.
They'll watch
they don't want YouTube Kids.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. They're into it all.
They're not into They're not into the kids version at all. And then, so, because I wanted to ask you, so if you had 50 million, when you have 50 million on a platform like a TikTok, and it doesn't necessarily convert onto a different, I know that just because you're 50 on one, I would imagine most of that audience would follow you on, not just you, by the way,
I think
in general.
It really depends, because for me, a lot of them are kids, so that means that
they don't have access.
They don't have access for Instagram.
Right.
So some people that are have an older audience, it's easier for them to convert followers. So for me, that's why adjusting my brand to be able to be likable to the teenagers, to the adults. That's currently what I'm doing right now.
Right.
So that's kind of my game plan of how to kind of adjust and fix that.
Right.
problem.
Do the dancing more, I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely getting back into all of that.
That to me is a no-brainer, because people my age are looking at these dancing things. And then, so I've got so many questions for you, but so what else in terms of I understand you're a content creator, you're creating so much content, and I didn't even realize how much you're doing for your family as well, which just adds up the hours that you're spending.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other ancillary businesses that you are doing because of your fame now with Instagram? With that TikTok.
Just other
other business ventures. Creating your own, line of clothing. Or
a big thing that I wanted to do now for this year or next year coming up is create a really, really nice urban street brand. Clothing brand.
Right.
That's something that I really I love fashion.
I can see you've got nice fashion sense. So I was figuring.
I'm super in love with that, and I want to kind of take my time to make sure that if I do something, I do it right, and I have something I'm passionate for. That is something that's coming out. I'm working with the brand to come out with different little tech and gadgets to be in Walmart or Target. Those are another things. I love the crypto space. I love the NFT space. I'm working with Cybertino on NFT stuff. And then
you are doing a lot. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing and how you are branching out into that stuff? So let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. With Cybertino, obviously the NFT space is growing every single day.
It's crazy.
And they're trying to kind of work it to where creators can promote and sell NFTs, and that's something I haven't started that yet, but that's something that I'm starting soon. What else?
You have a podcast and you have a TV show, don't you? Or a show?
Yeah. So we were able to do a Facebook show. Facebook, I think it was Bratz TV reached out and they wanted to do a 12. Was it 12 episodes or 13? 11 episodes. So we did 11 episodes for that. It's gonna come out on Facebook and Instagram. And that was more like a one-off, but once depending on how well it does, if we do a season 2 or not, that's something that's kind of that we finished. We are starting a podcast in a few months with Spotify One.
Right.
So that's gonna be really cool.
What kind of when you say we, is it your family?
Me and my mom.
Oh really? And what are you guys gonna talk about?
I mean, life stuff. I want to. It's gonna have different segments, but it's gonna be me and her riffing, kind of keeping up with what's happening, and then inviting and interviewing a guest and talking about their process from start to finish, what makes them different, kind of inspirational stuff. I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Did they come to you, Spotify, or
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
did they give you a concept, or they just said, "Hey, we want to do a podcast"? Because
There
they're
was-
only going to certain people. Like
Yeah.
Joe Rogan got a deal.
Mhm.
You know.
They gave me some concepts, but they honestly, they wanted it to kind of be something that resonated with me. So I kind of started the concept. We kind of bounced off back and forth, and we're kind of able to configure something. They gave me like a guideline of what to talk about. How long each segment is gonna be, this and that, and that's pretty much. Yeah, they did all the hard stuff.
Yeah, no, but that's great. You got a deal. So when does that come out though? Does that come out soon?
October. Yeah, so that's gonna be later in the year.
Oh wow. Okay, so you have a lot of stuff that you're doing. Like you seem to be a very busy person.
Definitely.
And like, so I feel like I'm missing a bunch of questions that I had for you because I wanted to make sure that I follow all the stuff. I asked you about monetization. Do you think it's easier for people to always have a niche, or is it better to have more?
Way easier.
Right, yeah.
Way easier. I mean, in the beginning, if you haven't started anything with your social media, I think it's important to experiment, do something that you don't know what you're known for, so experiment, do whatever you can to. If you like cooking, try some cooking videos. If you like dancing, try some this, and then from there you can gauge, okay, this is what I enjoy making, this is what does the best, and then from there you can kind of figure it out. But once you understand like what you make, it's easier to be consistent with it and to kind of like continue with that. So for me, like obviously the dancing, I'm a dancer, so like okay, I'm gonna make dance videos. I have like a set like idea in mind, and then from there I'll be able to build it out. But if you don't have any like niche about you, then it is a little harder to be consistent, because like then people are gonna follow you and be like, okay, what am I following you for?
Right.
Well,
they also want to know what they're coming to you for, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
you want
exactly.
and you want to have some valuable content as opposed to just like random all the time that just doesn't really give people anything.
Yeah.
But then I guess if you have a young audience, they just want to be entertained too, right? Like 8, 9, 10 years old, they
Mhm.
want to just be entertained. Now, how about in terms of like your future? Like you said yourself, you don't know how long this is going to last. So you're building a really good foundation. Like in 10 years from now, or because you're so young, I'd say 5 if you were, a grown up, but 10 years, what would you see yourself doing? What would you like to be doing?
As long as I'm like financially like free, like if I can just, I mean, like eventually in 10 years, I don't want this to be a job necessarily. I want this to be something where I've grown so much to where like I've invested in tons of real estate. I'm in all these different, business ventures to where like, okay, I grew from this, but like now I can do it for a passion and do whatever I want. And then if I want to stop and disappear from the face of the earth, I'll be able to do that. So
So you are investing your money then?
Yeah.
I was going to say you're not one of these people who is going to be spending everything that you make right
no,
now, right?
not at all. I mean, I can't. I mean, I tried. I mean,
Just too much money to spend.
yeah, I mean, I'll get like these knickknacks. Like I'll get like a flamethrower. I'll buy some clothes, and that would be like. And I got a go-kart, but like that's all under $10,000.
Right.
And, like now I'm like.
You bought a house though.
Yeah, I bought a house.
Right.
I'm still investing into that. Cryptocurrency, super smart, real estate. Using my platform to reach out to like high net worth individuals to like have them teach me what they're doing.
Like mentors.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
going to say, I was actually going to ask you on my list, do you have any mentors?
Yeah,
You do?
I do.
Who are your mentors?
I have I do and I don't, because I'm figuring out. I'm basically just reaching out to people that are successful in their lane, whether it's like investing in Airbnbs or real estate or cryptocurrency or Forex, all of those different things. And I'm basically like hearing what their process is and what their schedule looks like to see if I can even fit that into my schedule, or if I can do that in the future. But I have connections that could be. I have potential mentors, but I don't
Potential
have.
mentors.
Yeah.
Who's your potential mentors?
I mean, I have a few friends in Florida. Q and Ryan. They're Forex traders, but they have like a high community with real estate,
Yeah.
with crypto, all of that stuff, and those are the people I stay closest to right now.
Right. What's the best advice you've been given to date about all of this?
I mean, it's like the advice I've heard from like podcast. I mean, it's just like just take risks, especially because I'm young. Like that's the one thing I have advantage of that other people don't. You know,
Right.
like the younger you are and the more like focused you are. I mean, like you can take more risk because like what else do you have to lose? You know.
Right. Now, were you always this, you seem like to be very disciplined and focused. Now, that's not very common when you're, 21 years old or 20
Yeah.
years old. Were you always like that? Did you learn that from your home or how
I've had like a lot of different things that I've learned from. I mean, my mom and dad were always entrepreneurs, so they always were like working hard. So I feel like I gained that from them, and then I also had friends that I stuck around that they taught me the ways of life. They taught me, my work ethic for school, things like that. So I mean, even the dance community, like dancing, having a passion for that really taught me to stick to something and continue at it.
right. Give you the discipline.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
taught you the discipline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, it was honestly from all over, from friends to friends' moms to dancing to whatever sports I was in. It all kind of like bundled together.
Well, it does sound like you have it can be, and I see why, like if your head is on straight, you have like, you're very close with your family. I feel like that's probably a big piece of it too. 'Cause
Yeah, no, definitely.
you don't seem like you're this airy fairy kind of like, kid who's just, hoping for the best. You know what I mean? Like you have like some kind of like plan and you're like working towards the plan.
Hmm.
And you're thinking, so like do you want to be doing, not just, you don't want to, do you think it's going to be around in 10 years? Where do you think social media is going?
I think social media is gonna continue for sure. Like, I mean, we're only at the start. Like, for generations of influencers, we're only in like what, third generation?
Is that even what we're in?
I think
Jeez.
we're third generation because the first generation was like MySpace. That was the first gen.
Yeah, that's
then,
true. My
then second gen was YouTubers and Instagrammers and Vine, and then third gen is now YouTubers, Instagram, TikTok. So that's the current space of like influencers and platforms that we have right now. So we're still really in the beginning.
So you think there's still going to be companies that come along that are? Can you tell her to stop? Okay, you're gonna edit that part out. Okay. Sorry. I don't know if they can even. I can just keep it going. So, do you think there'll be other platforms that come along that we don't even know even exist? Like next year, there's going to be another platform.
For sure,
or like-
yeah. It's gonna continue evolving. I don't think that we can just say like, yeah, these are the platforms just gonna last forever. I mean, we thought that Vine was gonna. I mean, I thought Vine was gonna stay around. Like, it was so big already.
How did it? What was the demise of it?
I heard from a few creators. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I mean, yeah, I'll say it. But apparently Vine was having a deal with the top creators, like paying them like $1 million or something, and then I guess like word got out and certain creators didn't get the deal, and it was like you're not allowed to speak on the contract, like NDA type of thing, and then I guess they boycotted it. The creators started hopping off because once Vine heard that it got around, they canceled everyone's deals or something, and then everyone boycotted and it failed.
And that's how it failed.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I heard. So
I
it could
bet
be.
I bet you're right. I mean, I'm sure, I take your word for it. What do you think of the other one that I've heard a little bit about, but not a ton? It doesn't sound like it's doing so well.
Triller?
Yeah, Triller.
I think they're moving into a different route now. I have no idea. I mean, it was known for like a music video-esque app, like make your own little music videos by like, compiling a whole bunch of videos together.
Right.
But like its usability, its interface wasn't necessarily as updated as other ones, and it just didn't really take off as I guess like they wanted it to.
Wow. Okay, so then I kind of talked about it a little bit, but I really want to kind of like make sure my audience, I know the monetization, the building of a brand. I want to really kind of like just hone in on that for a second.
Mm-hmm.
The monetization is through these brand partnerships to grow. Now, I should say, do you need to do a lot of collaborations at your stage still, with other big top, like your top 10 or top 11, whatever, do you guys have to collaborate, or you guys stay in your own lane and there's a competitive, like it's very competitive now?
It depends.
Yeah.
For me, I do more collaborations just as a way to be more creative with content, not necessarily for reachability.
Right.
I mean, I could, and of course that's why I you know, certain people I reach out to, like, I mean, you know, collaborations are always amazing.
Mhm.
They're always going to help you. What I say is necessary. If I have a structure and team around me that I can continue making content, then no. Like, I don't even need the numbers. I just need the right people around me and the right concepts, and I can make, you know, viral video is viral in itself, you know?
Right, if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm just thinking when you're talking about your brand deals and, you know, who your audience is, and you're doing these deals with like Tums and Invisalign. Invisalign makes sense. I'm surprised like toy companies like Mattel or Hasbro or like are not coming to you because you have that exact target audience that they want, you know, or that you should develop a toy like for kids.
If they're watching this.
I know, I'm saying like it's like a no-brainer to me. Like I don't know, I would think just as an entrepreneur, like I just think like that to me is like a really seamless fit, right? Because that is legit. Like you have 50 million kids who watch you. That's more than any Sesame Street or whatever other shows are out there that are like kid-like. You know what I mean? Like Nickelodeon or whatever. Have you ever done a game one like that?
We've done card games. That's been a popular thing that has come out. Card games.
But like Monopoly or any of those?
No. I mean, if it takes too long, I'll just make my own.
I was gonna say you should make your own.
Yeah.
I'll go 50-50. I'll be your partner. 'Cause to me, it's like that's like an audience built in right there.
Yeah,
right. Like
definitely.
I think that would be like a no-brainer, right, for that type of thing. And then like, how about any terms of like other stuff like a Netflix show for kids because of this, or you know, they all know you. You're like a superstar for these kids. Has anyone ever approached you for something like that, or Amazon?
I don't
Prime
think yet. I think we have connections, and we're just kind of like, once we have the right concept to do with it, and like once the kids are ready, like if I want to do a family thing with them, you know, I'm still trying to like put them into acting classes and kind of get them ready for it because it'll be easier to work with. I think the opportunity is there. I think it's just waiting for the right time to do it.
Would you ever do like World of Dance, or like So You Think You Can Dance? Now that, I mean, because it's also you're a dancer,
depends.
right?
Yeah. I think it depends. It depends on if it makes sense with my time. If it like just, I think it's different factors.
How did you do the boxing thing? Like, what was that all about?
They just came to me one
Who
time.
came to you? Like, give us a story.
It was I forgot their names. What was her name? What was the guy's name?
Some guy.
I forgot. I don't know why. Sam, was it Sam? Is his name Sam?
I forgot.
I think his name was Sam, and Austin. They came to me months ago with the deal of like explaining.
What was the deal? Like, what? Someone came to you and said, "Hey, do you want to do a boxing?"
Yeah, like it was
Tell
like
the people
like
who don't know. It's you did a boxing.
He came to me. He was like, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this boxing match?" And I was like, you know, like, what do you mean? Like, I was kind of confused because like, I've never done it before. And they started talking about like how like it'd be really big because there's other influencers that's a part of the game. It'd be great for association. It's gonna be YouTubers versus TikTokers. No one's professional in this, so like it's not like you're gonna get in there and get killed or anything like that, you know. So everyone's in the same, you know, route. With Logan Paul and Jake Paul, obviously with them doing the boxing, it started getting a lot of attention. So this was just kind of like one of those things that like I felt like, why not take it? You know, like take risks. I think it'd be cool. I didn't want to like. I felt like it worked perfectly with like what I wanted to kind of let people know is like, no matter what people think of you or this and that, like if you want to do it, you can do it. I wanted to give it a try. You know, I trained for 3-4 months. Like completely transformed. I gave it my all, and it was a great experience. You know. So, I did that. They told me if the money makes sense, if the exposure makes sense, then I'll commit my time to it. And,
what was the deal anyway? What was the?
I mean, the
I don't
deal
even know
is.
if we should even talk about it.
I mean, the thing is that there's like some like controversy going around with it that like.
Oh, really?
Financially, they're
They're not paying.
not paying people.
Are you serious? Did you not get paid?
I haven't gotten paid what I was
You
agreed
got a
to.
deposit, but that's it.
Yeah, so it's kind of effed. I
Nobody's
don't
gotten
know.
paid.
No one? Are you sure? I don't know. I think the YouTubers got paid.
Well, I mean, on TikTok.
I feel like it was kind of something sketchy going on. I haven't put my energy or time into it yet because I'm just getting back from vacation.
Oh, you're saying you're like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't, but
This kind of sounds like that fire. What's that thing on Netflix? That
Fire Festival.
Fire Festival. Is it like a fire festival type of thing?
I don't even know what that is.
It's this thing where this person put together this like a music festival type of thing, and he got all these influencers and people involved, and it was a total racket. Do you remember all that stuff? It was a total scam, and
I'm hoping this isn't a scam because I'll be super pissed because like the
yeah,
amount of money that was talked and put into this that was like influencers were agreed to like. Just I don't know.
So you were fighting. It was TikTokers versus YouTubers.
Yeah.
And so you had to fight a YouTuber.
Yeah, correct.
And then who was the YouTuber?
This guy named Jarvis.
And how many followers does he have on YouTube?
I think like 3 or 4 mil. Yeah, 4 mil.
And so who put them together? This guy just says
Yeah,
you guys are gonna fight
in
each
the
other?
behind the scenes. Yeah, they were they brought everyone and they were like, hey, do you want to fight this person? Do you want to fight this person? And they kind of like arranged it based off of like I guess height and weight and stuff.
Oh, who won? Who won the
I
fight?
sadly didn't win.
Oh,
but, you know,
you're so nice. I wish you won.
it's okay.
Oh gosh, that's too bad. But you trained really hard. You said
Yeah.
for it too. So now you said fitness is a big part of your life too. So what do you do in the fitness space? Like what do you like to do?
I love calisthenics, but I'm gonna get into weight training as well. But calisthenics is my love.
Oh, really? So how much do you do? Like give me a day in the life of you. I know you do a ton of videos, but besides that, what time do you wake up? Give us a whole
Lately,
daily
I've been.
routine.
I don't know why. I mean, I have a cat. His name is Hero. He
Oh.
wakes me up at 6 every morning.
Oh.
So I wake up at 6 every morning. But
Maybe
I stay
move
in
the cat
bed.
into another room.
I don't know. But, you know, it's cute. So it's whatever. But I stay in bed for like an hour or two. I wake up around 8. I'd say like out of bed, doing whatever I have to do. Then I have to do my content or I have meetings or whatever I have to do until like afternoonish. And then at nighttime, I mean, my schedule changes constantly, so it's not like a set in stone thing. Because when I was training for the fight, my schedule is completely different than what it is now. You know?
Right.
But typically when I work out, I think I'm gonna work out like 5 times a week still, just because I enjoy working out, and those sessions typically last for like 2-3 hours.
At a time?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's just me though. It's kind of like my sanctuary, so I like just
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, you're preaching to the converted because that's my sanctuary. But 3 hours a day is a lot.
Yeah.
And so you do that in the afternoon.
I like nighttime.
Nighttime?
I'm an owl. Yeah.
Wow. And then you said also that is there anything else that you do besides, well, it's a lot, but is there any other particular thing like routine or regimented thing that you need to do? Like
Yeah, it's gonna be
non-negotiables
so
for you?
what I'm gonna do is like I don't know about running. I don't really care for running, but dancing I'm getting into where I'm gonna do that 2 to 4 times a week, dance classes.
Where?
Workout.
Like Millennium or
All whatever dance class, whatever studios. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them that like I have selected. Then I'll do I think once a week boxing to continue that. Yoga twice a week, and then and the workouts. So those 4 like activities basically.
Good for you. I love it.
Thank you.
I mean, listen, I wish you so much luck because you sound like you have like a lot going on and you're doing really, really well.
Thank you.
Where do people find, I mean, again, if you're not 8 years old, tell people here how they can find you or like know your content, like where.
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, I guess Facebook too.
What's your
Michael Lee.
handle?
My handle is just Michael, Just, just, and then Michael is Maiko. It's just like a special way of saying my name because Michael is really normal.
Yeah.
So just Michael, Maiko.
Right. We don't want to be normal. That was
Yeah.
that's like boring.
Yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I mean, this has been great. And you, like I said, you're such a nice young guy. I'm
Thank you.
really happy I've done this with you.
Of course.
And well, that's it. I think we're going to like call it a day. Bye.
Fire. Bye, guys.
Habits and hustle, time to get it rolling. Stay up on the grind, don't stop, keep it going. Habits and hustle, from nothing into something. All out, hosted by Jennifer Cohen. Visionaries, tune in, you can get to know them. Be inspired, this is your moment. Excuses, we ain't having that. The Habits and Hustle podcast, powered by Habit Nest.